Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope we're all having a great day today. So, I'm bringing back a series that I kind of started a few months ago, but I only ever made one episode of it, and I called it Ask Kudos. I didn't know if there was any other better name I could do it, so I'm just going to stick with that name right now. But it is a very similar to series that many other YouTubers do, like Sunday Mailbox, which is what Matimio does, and Get Answered by Get Flanked. So I'm kind of taking my own twist on that series, and I'd like to give my opinion from a console perspective because I play on PS4, and I am saving up for a PC. So when I do get my PC, I'm gonna play both PC and console. So I think I could give more of an insight into more issues that affect console than these other YouTubers are able to do, because I play console quite often. Okay, so our first question is by Walter69, and they asked, do you think Siege should implement tournaments similar to how COD does it? And yeah, that is a great idea, but don't get me wrong, as far as I am aware, this is actually already coming in some point in year 5, so it is coming this year as far as I am aware. Now, I'm pretty sure this was announced at the Siege Invitational, and it was basically small brackets of tournaments that you could play, and it would be in the same division as people in your certain ranks. So for example, if you were in Diamond, you'd be in a tournament with plat players and Diamond players and potentially Champion players, depending on how that works. So if you were in Bronze, for example, you'd be in a full Bronze tournament, and this did get revealed at Siege Invitational, and I can definitely see it coming, probably year 5, season 4, if I'm going to be honest. That just seems like the most likely date for this reveal, and not reveal, well, they'll probably do a full reveal before it comes out, but definitely, especially with the delays that are happening due to COVID, I can definitely see this tournament coming out maybe year 6 if we're going to push it that far. But it is definitely coming, and Ubisoft did say that it's coming. Okay, the next question is from Reichert Christ, and I'm sorry if I butcher any of these names, I do apologise. But their question is, should there be a defender that can blow up a reinforced wall with a button? Now, I can see that this would potentially be helpful in some situations, but at the end of the day, if you're going to have a defender that can blow up reinforced walls, which are something that the defender puts there in the first place, then it is kind of defeating the purpose of putting that reinforced wall there. You are going to be helping the attackers, because maybe it would help for a certain run out or something, but once that run out's been used, they know that you've run out there or something, they've got an open reinforced wall that they did not have to use any utility. They didn't have to worry about defeating a bandit trick. So if they know this operator's on the board, they wouldn't really worry about having to bring a Thatcher, because they think, oh, well, maybe they'll just open the reinforcement for us. So I can definitely see some situations in where this may come in handy, and you get some cool kills from it. But for the most part, no, I definitely do not think there should be a defender that can open up reinforced walls with a button. Our next question is by McDonald Crackhouse, and they ask, what op do I think should get reworked if there is any? Now, I don't really think a lot of people are going to agree with me here, but out of all the operators in the game that I think needs a rework, I would actually say Monty. Now, I'm extremely against shields in this game. I hate shields so much to the point where I just ban Monty a lot, and specifically Monty. Like, Blitz is just a dumb operator, he is a stupid operator, and I hate him, but I can still handle him more. I'd rather have a Blitz on the board than a Monty, because I don't know, I just think the fact that Monty can full extend all the way up to you, and you can't shoot him or anything, and then he can just drop a shield, and then you've got to go through that horrible animation of punching shields where it just turns out so luck based, because you either hit a shield or he hits you first, and it's a terrible mechanic that they really need to rework in this game. Is definitely shields and the whole punching of shields and stuff like that. I am extremely against it. That is one of the things I hate most in this game. And if I were to rework Monty, I would make him more the way Clash is, and meaning that he either full extends or he has no shield at all. There is no middle ground where he can have it and still ADS. So if he wants to push this site with a full shield, he can do that, but if he wants to switch to his pistol, he must put his shield on his back. And I know there'll be people that disagree with me, but I hate the fact that Monty can just full extend, then put it back up, you know, peeks, hides behind the shield, peeks, hide behind the shield. You know, you get the diffuser down, and he sits in a corner, and you're not really, you know, how often are you going to bring in Oryx, because he's not that great an operator. So you're just going to have Monty in the corner, and whenever you go to defuse, he just drops his shield and punches you. If this rework happened, he would have to put that shield on his back, and that would be a full animation, similar to how Clash is. So I definitely think Monty needs a rework, because I'm extremely against how, just how unreliable it is to fight him, if that makes sense. Because you've got, like I said, like the whole punching away the shield, it just does not work all the time. And it's definitely a mechanic that I hope Ubisoft do look into in the future. Next question is by Rahul_CS, and once again, I'm sorry if I'm getting these names wrong, but they said, what do you think of an operator or them updating the C75 to be used as dual wields? Now, I would think it would be better on an operator rather than reworking C75s to be dual wield. And because we could get an operator one day that has dual wield pistols, and that would be very cool. You know, I'm trying to think about how they could work. Obviously, you couldn't ADS if you did have dual wield pistols, so they'd have to make the hip fire accuracy like extremely good. But it could just, there has to be something cool that they could do with that. And it is a very interesting concept, and I'm glad you brought it up, because dual wield in this game is something we've never seen before. The only thing that kind of is in this game is the Ashe Elite set, the Tomb Raider Elite. She dual wields pistols in that Elite MVP animation, but obviously that's just an animation that has no gameplay aspect to it at all. So it is a very cool concept, but I'm trying to think a way that an operator could do it where they're not extremely bad, or if they make the hip fire accuracy enough to when they become extremely overpowered. But dual wield is cool, but I don't know if I think it will work in this game. Okay, so the next question is by Philip Borgs, and they ask, how can they improve Nook since she will have so many counters and she does not bring that much to the team? And I agree that Nook, they kind of just introduced her into this game, and they didn't really give her much purpose. So what I would do to improve Nook is that I would actually give her Vigil's K1A as a weapon with an Acog, because I'd very much like to see that happen and see how she would work with K1A Acog, much better than the FMG9. And I'd also like to see her have more counters. For example, the new defender Melusi, Nook is not immune to that, and I don't understand why. It's like the whole thing with Lion again. When Lion was introduced to the game, they're like, yeah, Vigil isn't immune to him. It makes sense, because Lion scans weren't electronic, they were based off movement, but they ended up making Vigil a counter to Lion anyway, because, you know, Lion was overpowered. So they definitely need to do this with Melusi and Nook. They definitely need to make Nook a counter to Melusi, so, you know, she can walk through her gadget and practically be immune to it when when Nook is actually activating her gadget. Okay, so the next question is by MOI88I, and they ask, any operators that need balance? And I kind of want to talk about Doc now. We had that whole thing going around the community, the whole rumor that Doc is going to lose an Acog, and I was actually very for that, because personally I think Doc, he's too strong in my opinion. He has a 3 armor, he has an Acog, and he can heal himself 3 times, and I think that is insanely strong, because he can peek an angle, he can take some damage, he can re-heal, he can peek that angle again, take some more damage, re-heal, peek that angle, take some damage, re-heal, and, you know, by that time he may have got the kill. And I just feel like Doc has too much utility for a single player. He's a very selfish operator. Many people who play Doc use the stims on themselves and not their teammates, so and he's in more of a fragging role than he is in a support role. So I definitely think Doc should lose his ACOG, and he should become a 2-speed, and that will push people into using the P90 more, because P90 is a better weapon than the MP5. I can't remember the name of his gun, but it is a better weapon when you take the ACOGs away. So it would definitely push Doc into more of a support role than a fragging role, which he currently is in my opinion. So yeah, I am actually interested if they do remove Doc ACOG, which they don't really seem to have any plans to do, but I would not be opposed to it. Okay, so the next question is by Constantino Mora. Yeah, you guys are killing me with these names here. I'm so sorry that I'm probably butchering them. But they asked, do you think a Jager should be a 3 armor with an Acog? No. Straight up, no. If Jager was a 3 armor with Acog, he'd be way stronger than he was when he was a 3 speed. Because he's still going to have that amazing weapon. He's going to be stronger because, you know, 3 armor. And now he's going to have an Acog as well as very valuable gadgets and strong gadgets such as ADS. No, that would be the biggest buff of all time. That would be stronger than Jager ever was. So pretty simple answer here is no, Jager should never be a 3 speed and he should never get his Acog back. I'm sorry for all the people that want Acog, but Jager just does not deserve an Acog in this game. And that's all I really have to say on that. Okay, so the last question for this video, and it is by Jack5432, and they say, do you think the PS5 and Xbox Series X will have better measures in countering M&K? And I can't really say much on that because PS5 hasn't even properly been revealed yet, and we're still kind of in the dark about the Xbox Series X, though they have shown off a lot more than the actual PS5. But I do hope that Sony and Microsoft work much better with Ubisoft in countering M&K on console, because it is a very massive problem that definitely does need countered. It does ruin the fun for a lot of people, it is unfair, and it is a bannable offence. So I do hope that the PS5 has much better counters into these input devices, and they can hopefully block them more, and just hopefully it can kind of be eradicated, because it is one of the big issues that is kind of keeping console down. And yeah, it is definitely an issue. But I'm hoping that the PS5 has a much better counter. But I'm going to end this video here. This is the return of this series, so if you would like your question answered in the next video, be sure to drop a comment here or go on my Instagram and I'll put up a story, like question poll thing, and you can leave it there. But if you can leave it in the comments here and I will check them as well. If you did enjoy this video, consider subscribing if you haven't already. Drop a like on this video. Check out some of my other videos if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.